Morning. Good morning, everyone. Let's do some Am I the A-hole reactions because I had nothing better to do on a Friday night. Let's do it. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to cancel a trip after my wife has hers canceled? Yes. I have no idea what the situation is, but I'm going to say yes because that's what you're supposed to say when married couples don't agree. No, I'm just kidding. All right, moving on. I, male 30. That doesn't read right. I, male 30, is away from home working at an... Okay, we're just gonna read it as it states. I, male 30, is away from home working at an internship that pays very well. I am months away from grad school applications and relocating for my career is on the horizon. When I came home out here, I told my wife, female 30, that my goal was to save as much of it as possible in order to have a nest egg for when grad school expenses begin. She's usually impulsive and tends to book trips in the moment and worry about paying it off later. Her last adventure like that ended up in a $15K consolidation loan rather than bankruptcy because we need credit for grad school application. 15 grand, you say? Oh no. Anyways, fast forward to this internship. It is across the country in DC and I'm a West Coast guy. A while back, she got the idea, instead of flying, that we should drive and do cross-country trip. That was a bad idea. Driving sucks. Driving anywhere. I drove to Florida once from Ohio. Not a great idea. No. Car rental, roadside hotels, tourist destinations, the whole nine. I agreed thinking we would each save up and pull together to do this thing. I've just recently learned that she was not able to save anything and expects me to pay for everything, including car rental, gas, food, attractions, and hotels because she refuses to crash in rest areas or campgrounds. Okay, so she refuses to go to sleep and she wants to have this lavish vacation and she saved no money for it. I have questions. Is she normally the type that wants you to pay for dinner, pay for outings? Is she the one that wants you to always plan? Does she ever have to pay for anything? Is this a new thing? More context is needed. Let's hope it's coming. At the same time that she was planning this, a colleague invited me to drive up and see their working facility. I explained that we're trying to save and she offered to pay half the car rental cost, $80 each, and offered an extra room in the communal rental she has with other scientists from the summer. It's a big house with spare spaces. Oh. Your colleague is a female and telling you can come stay at her house? Danger, Will Robinson. I ran this by my wife weeks ago. Double-checked and triple-checked that she was okay with seeing my friend. She said yes, of course, and she was a big fan of my friend and always encouraged me to keep in touch. Even when that was said, I further asked and made sure to ask if there was anything uncomfortable or boundary breaking with that, and she said no. There is a lot of times when women will say things like, I'm fine, no, it's okay, go spend time with your friends, when you really don't want them to. A guy who's been married longer than 15 months is going to tell you that even though she said it's okay, but I get the concept. If you guys are in communication constantly and you verified and re-verified, and she's still saying it's all right, I get where you kind of she said it was fine. And your relationship could be different than most people. Fast forward to last night and her telling me that she was expecting me to pay for the entire trip, found out she's not been able to save, and that DC to West Coast is too expensive. I told her I stayed up late crunching numbers, trying to convince myself to do it, and it just doesn't make sense. It'll set us way back. She got very angry, emotional, and just guilt-tripped me about the whole thing. Now, she chose to bring up my trip this weekend, telling me that suddenly she feels uncomfortable with me visiting and that it's not fair for me to reject her trip and still go on this one. Okay. That's emotional woman 101, right? If we're not getting what we want, you can't have what you want. It should not be that way, but there are women all over this planet that use that. Men use that too. It's more common for women, but men use it too. Yeah, she's trying to guilt you into still paying for this wonderful trip that she chose not to save money for. That why do I feel so comfortable canceling her adventure, but is still very adamant on going on mine? Again, I will be saving half a car rental, lodging, and food because I'd eat at home for those days. I'm expecting no more than $200 spent. So, am I the a-hole for feeling like the insecurities are a manipulation tactic? Should I continue to plan or give into it to avoid a fight, but live with the regret of not seeing a marine biology state-of-the-art facility tour? Alright, so I said it before you asked. It is totally a manipulation tactic. She was perfectly fine with you going on this trip and spending time with your friend and seeing this facility until the minute you said you weren't going to foot the bill for everything. So no, you are not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. It's just no. Nobody should manipulate you into changing your plans when they've made it very clear that they are perfectly okay with it. Let's see what other people think.
Someone please agree with me.
There are some mixed, different thoughts on this. I'm so excited. Not the a-hole, but your wife's spending habits are concerning. She makes more than you, but is unable to save anything at all and expects you, the student, to pay for everything? Weird. Definitely not the a-hole, but if you're going to go, then you'll probably come back to a very angry wife. You're gonna have to figure out if it's worth it to you. It seems you have deeper problems anyway, because at her age, she should be able to save up money and be responsible if she wants something. I know a lot of people who are 30 and older who can't save money, but that's because they don't make a whole lot of money, right? You know, paycheck to pay. I live paycheck to paycheck. I'm not broke, but I'm not going through and like taking lavish vacations either. Not the a-hole. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it. Your trip also sounds like a potential networking opportunity. And even if it wasn't, you're saving a lot of money on a rare experience. From your other comment, if the only way to keep your money safe is to keep it away from your... From your other comment, if the only way to keep your money safe is to keep it away from your wife, you have big problems and you need to sort those out before you start earning more. I agree. If there's a serious issue where money is just going, maybe there's something we need to look into. A conversation needs to be had about the way to manage money. Ooh, a different thought. Totally the a-hole. You're married. It's both your money. If you don't understand that now, good luck learning it during the divorce. I mean, my husband and I have money we share, but if I spent every dime at the casino and couldn't pay our rent next week, he'd be frustrated. And it would not be a good thing for me to do. So even though it's both of their money, is it really okay for her to like spend all her available cash? Is it? And there are some relationships, some that I've met and some that are related to me, where they keep even though they're married, keep all their finances separate from one another. Yes, if they got divorced, they could request one or the other or what have you. But there are couples I know that have 2 separate bank accounts and keep all of their income separate. Even when they go on dates, they go Dutch every time and they've been together, some of them 15, 20 years. So it doesn't apply to everyone. But if it applies to you, if that's the kind of relationship this person and his wife have, then yes, I agree. It's both of your money. So, I don't know. Am I the a-hole for yelling at my mother for ruining my graduation? I, 18, male, graduated from high school this year. Since May, me and my mother, 44 female, worked hard to make decorations and themes for the graduation party. I graduated officially over a month ago. Congrats! And it was the happiest day of my life to date. For context, my mother and I have also been taking care of my elderly grandfather too. I will admit, she did do most of the decorations because I haven't had the time to help. The times I have helped, I've stayed up till 2 to 4 in the morning. Is that late though? I feel like when I was like in my early 20s, my late teens, staying up till 2 and 4 in the morning wasn't considered late. Like you would just stay up the rest of the night and go to work. Never mind. I went to the clubhouse where we were hosting the party and we set everything up. The next day was the party. My parents have been fighting a lot, with my mother claiming that my dad, 44 male, wasn't faithful. She hasn't had any evidence and hasn't been looking for any either. She and my dad made a deal that they wouldn't involve me or my brother, 24 male, in their relationship issues. My mother violated this deal the same day by venting to me about everything my father supposedly has done. The party was great, and I was having fun. Near the end of the night, my mother was drunk. She claimed she wasn't, and my dad, cousins, and aunt even brought up that my mother should stop drinking for the night. She threw a fit, and all of her anger was focused on my father. She yelled at him and made very deprecating remarks like, "I'm just a stupid drunk." She claimed that people called her that even though no one ever did. She refused to listen to reason, and when we cleared things up, she'd purposefully moved things the wrong way so it would take longer. I mean, you're drunk. You're drunk at that point if you're moving things so that it takes longer to get things cleaned and put away. Like, that's something a young child does or a grown drunk person does. Me and my dad ended up going home, while my brother promised to drive her. I was so embarrassed by her behavior, and I felt so sad. I wasn't told what to do with the card box, and neither was my dad. After we got everything sorted out, he gave me the box and just told me to open it. I did, and that ended up with my mom opening my room and getting PO'd that I opened the cards. My mom and dad fought throughout the night, and at one point yelled at my brother, who wasn't even involved in the situation. I have never yelled at this woman in my life, but I yelled at her now. In response, she said, "You're welcome for all of this." I said, "I thanked you for the party, but I won't be thanking you for your behavior." Now she won't talk to me or my dad, despite it being the next day. She constantly says sorry for ruining your party in a very sarcastic way. Sorry for ruining your party. I don't know how to feel about this anymore. I genuinely can't tell whether or not I was in the right to be angry at her. On one hand, she was drunk. On the other hand, she blew things out of proportion and outright lied about what my family said. She was drunk and clearly not in the right state of mind. Okay. This one was an easy one. No, you are not the a-hole. You're not the a-hole. If somebody is being belligerently drunk and acting a fool outside of the normal way that they would handle situations, and this is your day, you're graduating. It's one of the biggest parts of life. It's one of the best parts of life. Some people don't even get to that point. You have to. So, no, you're not the a-hole. There is an update. There is an update. I just want to say thank you to everyone who reassured me and who shared their opinions on the matter. I do have some news to share that I think would be a bit of a relief, as we have some clarification on things that were rather worrying. My mother is not an alcoholic. I noticed a few Redditors stating that her behavior was typical traits of an alcoholic, and one person told me to look around the house. There isn't any alcohol that she drinks around the house, and she hadn't drank any alcohol since the incident. The reasons I know she hasn't drank any are these. Her father, my grandfather, is elderly and a recovering alcoholic. Like I stated before, we take care of him. The slightest smell of alcohol, even just alcohol wipes, can cause him to be sick. She has been between these three places for the past few days: work, home, and our grandfather's abode. She wouldn't even be able to buy any. The only alcohol in the house currently is leftover beer. None of us enjoy beer, including my father. My mother does have some undiagnosed issues. We suspect she has a form of BPD, autism, or ADHD, possibly all three, as I ended up with those three personally. On to the actual update. I applied for college and got in. When I told my mother, she seemed relatively upset, likely because I didn't tell her when I'd be applying. I applied the very night everything happened, and was accepted this morning. Later on, she came into my room. I'm not sure what she talked with my father about, but the two have begun sleeping in the same bed again. For clarification, my mother slept on the couch for a while, and last night, they were in the same room. When she entered my room, she and I talked a bit. She explained how sorry she was about my graduation ordeal, and also told me how proud she was of me. She also said that she was now banned from Fireball. Fireball is an alcoholic beverage, yes. If you were unaware, Fireball, it is a thing. Hopefully everything turns out fine now. Thank you everyone for your support, and thank you for everyone who stayed around to read this fully. Please stop referring to my mother as an alcoholic. It's understandable that there were people who read your piece of work and automatically assumed the possibility that your mother was an alcoholic because there was no specification, and people like to draw their own conclusions. I did not draw that conclusion because I do have family members that drink on occasion and do tend to get drunk on occasion and don't drink any other time. So I get that. But I have to say, in the situation that you were in, it was right for your mother to come in and apologize. You were not being the a-hole at that point. She was the problem area in this scenario. So yes, you should have yelled at her. Yes, you should have spoke your mind. And yes, I believe that you were justified in your response to her during the situation. I'm really happy to see that the issue is resolved. You're going to college. Congratulations. If you watch this video, if you see this video, please tell me what you're studying in college. I'm currently in the process of getting my bachelor's degree in business. So I'd really like to know what you're going for. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, no, you handled the situation well. Looks like everything worked out for the best. So glad to hear it. Alright guys, so that was a couple of Am I the A-hole posts from Reddit. I'm super excited about doing these reactions just because I'm excited to see all the different things going on in the world that I'm not experiencing because I spend all of my time in my house on the computer. Hence why I had nothing to do on a Friday night. Don't forget to like, subscribe, come back and see me, guys. I'm going to do one of these reaction videos every Saturday. And if you're a writer on Medium, send me a piece of your work that you'd like me to read. That's what I do throughout the week to promote Medium writers and get a lot of reading done because reading enhances your intelligence. See you later, guys. Bye.